Hi everyone, it's Sandy. Thank you for joining me here on my channel, Septeria's Room. I have a One Sheet Wonder project for you. I know most of us love these One Sheet Wonder projects, and this is another great one for you if you like making folio folders or storage folders to store your ephemera pieces. This is another great interactive folio. It took me a couple of goes to get the measurements right the way I wanted, so I did waste a few papers, but in the end I was quite happy with how the folio turned out. And I'm going to show you the inside, what I've got in here, just to give you some idea, and then I'm going to give you the tutorial on how you can make one of these as well. So this is how it looks like. It's great to put a few things in here. I did pack a few things just so I could see what I could fit inside the pockets, because there are quite a few pockets in here and some tuck spots, and also a pocket large enough to put a mini journal in here. We can put whatever you like: photos, receipts, vouchers, ephemera, note cards. We can give this as a Happy Mail gift for a crafty friend and send off some stationery goodies in here. Just a great little folio. So what I've got here is I have tied the closure with some tulle. I just thought I would change it up. Instead of using some string or crochet string, I just used some pink tulle. And then there is a pocket here in the front. Let me just untie this so you can have a look. And I'll just quickly show you the papers just before I open up the folio. The papers I'm using, it's an Australian paper pad company called, or it's a company called Ribtex. It is an Australian company, so this is the 12, it's not really a 12 by 12 paper. It's here in Australia, we don't use inches, we use centimeters. So most of the papers that are made here in Australia are 30 centimeters by 30 centimeters, which is just probably a quarter of an inch less than 12 inches. So there's only just a slight difference in size. So it's a little bit smaller. And this one is called the Green Garden paper, and it's double-sided. And so I used this paper, and you can purchase this in Spotlight if you are here in Australia. It's available now. I think it just come out at Spotlight. But I'm going to do the measurements in inches, so you can still use a 12 by 12 paper. It'll just be slightly bigger in this part here in the opening, just by like a quarter of an inch, which doesn't make much difference. So I'm going to just show you the cover. So it just opens up with this flap on the side here, and then I've made a little tab with and punched a hole for the closure, and so there was no wastage when we make the folio. And here is a front pocket, and I did add these gold glitter strip stickers that I have, and I just added that to the edge of the pocket just to give it a nice decorative border. And I added one of these embellishments that I made in one of my videos just recently, and these just use your paper scraps and just layering them. And these are some of the ones that I've made in the video. So I did show you how you can put these together just using your paper scraps and minimal craft supplies. And they were just so fun to put together, and I will link that video down below if you wanted to see how you can make these. So I just placed one of those on the top of the pocket using some foam squares, and just sort of raised it up a little bit just to make it a bit more dimensional. And so in the front, I've just placed like a tag booklet. This was from the 12 by 12 collection. I just cut the two pieces and folded that up and for a tag. And then I cut another piece and made it into like a long note card, and added a paper clip, decorative paper clip, just to decorate the note card. So I put those two. So that's the front pocket. And then it opens up this way, and there is a front pocket here. And I've added another pocket that I've made as well a while back, and this is a cute double pocket with two different size pockets. You've got a larger size there and a smaller one in the front. I added some dangles to decorate the double pocket. This was another tutorial project I made in one of my videos. So that's that pocket. And then over here are two smaller tuck pockets if you have some smaller tags or ephemera, stickers, whatever you have that will that can be placed in the smaller pocket in case this is too deep. So that goes there. And then there's another pocket up here. I've made a little mini coin envelope, and this is cut apart I just had laying around, and that I thought was just a nice way to just add that to the top here, just so you could see the two pockets. I'll just put this back. Oh, actually, I'll just leave that. And then we go to the other side, and there is another side pocket here. I made some more note cards and made some file tab, pull tab shape on the side here. Another piece of paper I cut out just so I could show you what you can fit. And then I just cut some gold glitter cardstock and just cut that into a rectangle and corner around two corners just to make a decorative tab there, just to decorate it a little bit. This is another of the gold strip sticker that I have. So over here is a pocket, and I wanted to show you what I plan to do with this pocket here. So this piece is an add-on piece. It's not part of the 12x12 paper, but it's an add-on piece which I wanted to show you to give you an option to make it more interactive. And I haven't assembled that yet to this pocket. I just wanted to just show you what we're going to do with that. But over here is another pocket. So it's got a nice wide opening. And I've placed, this is just a little pocket folder that I also made with a 4x6 paper. And then there is also another one of these on the 12x12 paper. They had 4 of these to a page. I've just cut out the 3 and then accordion folded. So it's just another little folder to place in here. So that is the pocket. So what I was planning to do with this pocket here was create a closure. So there's like a envelope style pocket and also another pocket at the back. And what I wanted to do was I'm going to place that this way. This is the closure. I'm going to glue it down, but I'll do this in the tutorial. And then you can fit whatever you like in there as inside that pocket, and then that becomes like an envelope. And you can add a Velcro dot to here. You could use some washi tape to keep it closed. And then on the back is another pocket. And then that would be another great way to add something else to the back like that. So then you have a opening, and that becomes your envelope style pocket. And then this becomes another pocket at the back here behind it. So I thought that's just another great idea to make it interactive and another way to store some more things. And then you come to the back, here is another pocket. And this is a nice wider pocket. And I just made one of my favorite file tab covers. I usually like to make these into little mini notebooks, and then I just cut out some printing paper and fit it to size and folding it, and then I just staple it to make a notebook file tab booklet. But I just wanted to put that in there just so you could see you can fit a nice sized mini journal in here, a note booklet. And so that is the folio folder that I'm going to show you. It's really fun to put together. All right, so let me just put that to the side. So you want to grab, I did use double-sided paper, which is probably best to use because you get to see the two different sides. So I've got my paper here, which is from that same paper pad. So the paper is just a little bit less than 12 inches. but I'm still going to make the measurements in inches. So if you have a 12 by 12 paper, just still follow the measurements that I'm going to use. So I'm just going to show you, this is a 30 centimeters, and our 30 centimeters is here. So it's just a little bit over 11 3/4 inches. So it's just about 1/4 of an inch less than 12 inches. So what I've got here is a 12 by 12 paper, and we are going to cut. Now, if you've got to probably try and use one that's got no direction if you can, but it's still okay if you don't want to. So what we're going to do is we're going to line your paper at the 8.5 inch mark. We're going to cut it at 8.5 inches. So you got your paper at 12 inches by 8.5 inches. That's going to be the folio cover. And then this piece here, we're going to also make another cut. We're going to, on that shorter side, we're going to cut it at 1.25 inches. So we've got it there at 1.25 of an inch. So we've got that piece, and then this piece we're going to turn this around, and then we are going to cut it at 5 3/4 of an inch. 5 3/4. We're going to cut that 5 3/4. Let me just double check. Yeah, that's right. So that's going to go there. And then we have this next piece, we're just going to fold that in. I'm just going to fold that in half, find my mark. So it's at about 3 inches. So just folding that in half, and we're going to cut that in half. I just got to do it this way because it's not exactly 6 inches. So we've got 2 of those. And then you have this long piece. We'll leave that to the side. We don't need to cut that. So I'm just going to bring out the pieces just so you can see. So we have this piece, 12 inches, and then it's going to be cut down at 8.5 inches. And then you've got this piece that was 1.5 inches by 5 3/4 inches, and then there was an extra 2 pieces. We fold that in half and cut it, and then you've got this long piece here. That was the extra piece. I'll just put these to the side first. Let's work on the cover, and I'll get my scoreboard. So you can see my paper's not exactly 12 inches. Okay, so you're going to decide which one is going to be your cover, and in my case, this is going to be my cover, so I'm going to have the paper facing up. So I've got my cover facing up along the 12-inch mark, and then we're going to score at 3 1/4 of an inch, 7 inches, and 11 inches. So if you've got a 12-inch paper, the part that's over here is going to be a little bit more wider, and that's perfectly fine. So it was 3 1/4 inches, 7 inches, and 11 inches. And then we're going to turn this around, going to the right, so we'll go that way. And then on the 8.5 inch side, we're going to score at 2 inches all the way down. Okay. And while I've got the scoreboard out, let's score all the other pieces so then we don't need the scoreboard later on. We have this piece here. So let me just show you here. You want to decide which side you want facing up. That's going to be this part here that's got the little side pocket. So in my case, I'm going to have, I think I want this side up. Let me just see. Yeah, it doesn't really matter which way you want. I'm just going to score it. So I'm just going to do a score line at 1 inch. Oh, it doesn't such yeah, on the 1 inch side. So you want about 1/4 of an inch score line. I'm just going to do that again. So that's that. And these two pieces, we don't need to worry about that. We've got this long piece. We're going to line it on the 12-inch side, and we're going to score at 1/2 inch on one side. All right, so we've got that. And then for the envelope closure, if you want to do that, you grab another piece of paper, and that's cut at 3 inches by 5 3/4 of an inch. So cut that at 3 inches by 5 3/4 of an inch. So do all the scoring. We get back to the cover. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to come down the bottom here. Oh, you can't see my score line. Oh, Chester. That was a loud snore. Down here you're going to see your score line, which was at 2 inches. You can't see my score line, but there is a score line down here. We're going to remove this little piece here on the corner. So you probably won't see my score line, but hopefully you can see yours. And I'm just going to remove this little piece on the corner down here. And we'll put this little piece to the side with the other pieces for now. And then we are going to come across here. You've got another score line here. My score line is very hard to see. So I'm just going to cut it here so I could see. Okay, I'm going to go back this way now. Sorry about all the confusion there. We're going to come and cut right up to that 2 inch score line like that. And then we're going to just do a slight angle. I'm sorry if you can't see my score lines that well, but hopefully you'll be able to see yours. And then coming over here, there is another score line here. We're going to do the same. We're going to cut that all the way up to the top, to that score line again. And I'm just going to cut off a little bit off each side, just a tiny bit. And then the one on the other side, just a tiny little piece. It just makes it easy when we fold the papers. I'm just going to pull this off. I normally use and practice and make a prototype with one of my not so pretty papers first, and make one of them to get the idea of it. And then when you're happy with your paper, when you cut everything, then you use your nice papers to make your actual folio. So now I've got all of my papers. I'm just going to also cut a little bit off this end, just a little bit. Alright, so that is how your paper will look with the cover facing up. And what we'll do now, if we're going to bring this piece, we're going to bring this up, fold that up. Oops, I don't think I went right up where the school line was. Let me just do that. And I might even, sorry, I'm just going to trim off a little bit here as well, so it doesn't catch. So we've got that up, and then we're going to bring this where that score line is towards you. Just going to grab And then we are going to bring this piece up. And then this piece we're going to bring back towards you. And then this piece goes up to the front. And then this one will come to the front this way. So that piece goes like that. So this is how your folder should look like. So that'll be the closure. You have that pocket, you'll have that, and then that part opens up that way. So I'm just going to open everything back up just so you can see the way it should look like when you cut it. That is the paper. That was your 3 1/4 inch score line. That was your 7-inch score line, 11-inch score line, and then that score line at the 2 inches. And we cut these all up, and then we remove that little piece. That gets folded up. That gets brought back. That comes up. That goes towards you, and that comes up. And this score line goes over here. And if you've got a 12-inch paper, this piece here is going to probably come out to about here. Okay, so we've got all of that done. We'll open this up. What we can do next is we might start gluing. Let's glue down these pockets, so then that's out of the way. So I'm going to just glue down, open this and just glue this side only. You can glue both sides if you want, if you don't want that part opening. So let's get glue here. So we've got this pocket glued down. Then we've got that pocket next. I'm going to glue down both of these sides. I'm just going to go to the back here and also glue down just this side. You can glue both sides down. I'm just going to glue this side. I might even, just to decorate that, I might just corner around that side just to make it decorative and make it a little bit neat. And it just helps give you a little bit of the opening a little bit easier when you want to tuck things in there. It's not going to be like a tight fit. So that pocket's glued down, this pocket's glued down, this pocket's glued down. I want to corner around this part up here also just to decorate the closure. So that looks a little bit more nicer now. And now we're just going to work on the inside and add the side pocket that we've got here. So we're going to add that, and then we'll also add these 2 pockets. And I did corner around this middle pocket. You can do that as well if you wanted to do that. So I should glue that down. Okay. So what we're going to do now, this piece here, we did that score line here at 1/2 inch. I'm going to fold that, and then I'm going to bring this and line it up with that edge fold. So you have that piece, and that's going to go like that. So we're going to add some glue to here, and this is going to be that side pocket. glue set for a second. And then we're going to grab the piece that you scored here on the 1/4 of an inch. And I'm just going to angle cut that. And angle cut that. I'm going to fold it. And I'm just going to check. So what's going to happen, this part here, this is going to get placed in there. Now you can see that it's a little bit tight to get in there. I really want this part to slide in nicely between these two gaps. So I might just trim off a little bit just so that it slides in nicely. I'm just going to grab my small... I'm just going to trim it off just a tiny bit at a time and just keep checking to make sure that that's going to slide in nicely. So it's still a bit tight. So if you want to do that, just keep trimming it down till you got it. And I think that should work now for me. So I'm happy with that. And then I'll just go back, do that again. And this is going to get placed like that. And then you got this part here. This will get placed in there like that. And that becomes that pocket. And then this becomes a side pocket. I'm going to corner around that part just so I know that's where I want to be glued. So I want that on top. So what we'll do here, we are just going to... You can glue all the 3 sides and that'll give you that pocket there, or just the 2 sides. I'm just going to do the 2 sides. And the bottom. And I'm just going to sort of place it somewhere in the middle and beside the fold so that we can open and close this easily. So I'm just going to place it there. Just check to make sure that everything's going to fold nicely. Got glue everywhere. So this should give me a pocket there now, and this part will be for this piece. So now to do that, I'm just going to add a little bit of glue on both sides here, on this edge away from that fold. Just do it on the edge, as well as the other side. And where I've made that joint, I want that at the bottom instead of the top, and sort of the neater part showing the front. I'm going to slide this in, and then I can press it down. Go this side. Press that down. That should open a swing left to right nice and easily. So now you've got that side pocket there, got a pocket there, and that's there. Pocket, pocket, and pocket there. Right, so we're now going to this part here. So that part's all done, all the pockets are done there. We've got this blank space here, and then we've got these 2 pieces. And that's going to get placed there, and one on that side. So I'm just going to corner around just one corner. I'm going to have that one there, and then this one I'll just place that on the right side. It's going to go somewhere there. You can place it wherever you like. I'm just going to put mine like that. So I've got 2 tuck pockets. And to do that, I'm just going to glue there and along the bottom. Again, helps with the opening of the pocket or the tuck pocket. If I just glue the 2 sides. I'm just going to place that there. And same with this one, just placing it beside the fold line so that it doesn't catch. So now that's given me 2 pockets there. Let's see. So that'll be a pocket there and a pocket there. And then I've got this piece that I did mention in earlier, where I wanted to make this as a envelope style. So if you want to add that onto there, you can do that. So I did cut mine at 5 3/4 inch in length, but I ended up having to keep trimming it down so that I wanted to be able to slide in there nicely because it's a little bit longer. So when you cut yours, you will notice that it may not slide in nicely. So just keep trimming it down until you're able to get your paper in nicely like that. And when you're happy with your trimming, you just simply fold your paper in half and then corner around 2 corners on one side so you know which one's going to be your cover. So I did trim mine down, I corner rounded it, folded in half, and now I'm just going to add a little bit of glue to the back here, just up to about there, not too far, and just here. And then I will decide how far down I want to bring that. Now this part is optional, but I think it looks fun having that envelope look to the folder. I'm going to slide that in. And then just work out how far down I want to go, because I still want to leave a height. So I think I'm happy with it there. And then I'll just press down where I've got that glue. Oh, can you hear my little boy just snoring in the background? He's been snoring since I've done this video. So that is now my envelope part, and then on this side I have another pocket, so there is enough room to add a couple more, making it into 2 sections. And then you have that little extra piece. That is the part that I use to create a tab here for the closure. Do the same thing, and then you just punch a little hole in the middle. I haven't got my hole punch here, but do that, placing it wherever you like. Place that in the middle. And that will give me my closure. Oh, oh dear. And that's all there is to that. I hope that was an easy step-by-step tutorial for you on how I made this One Sheet Wonder folio with multiple pockets. So let's just go and have another quick look at it. So this is how it looks like. Just grab this one so we can use that. So there was that pocket there. And that's the same as what I've got here. and then it opens up like that. And then you've got the two pockets, and then the two pockets here, and then there is this pocket and that one. And we close that up, and we open it up this way, and you have that side pocket, and then you have this side large opening, which I ended up turning it into an envelope on one side and the pocket on the back. And then you have this nicer, wider pocket there for some larger goodies that you may want to put in there. So that is how it looks like, and then you can decorate it with all your bits and pieces. It's just amazing what one piece of 12 by 12 paper can make. I just to get amazed with it myself, and to think, incredible how you could make something like this. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on making this folio folder, and I'll see you all soon in my next video. Bye for now.